And good evening, everybody, and welcome to BMU TV and BryanSports.com. I'm Jim Funderburg along with Chris Malenga as we get ready to do some football here on a Friday night.
Beautiful Friday
Stadium. I'll tell you what, Christopher can stay this way from now until about, September next year.
I agree with you.
The last few days have been just about as nice as they possibly can be. It's got that fall feel to it, and we're just about ready, unfortunately, to go from that fall season that just started this week, and we all know what comes after that, so we won't even talk about what happens here in a couple of months, right?
I tell you what, all sorts of sunshine this week. It was great, driving down to daycare to drop my daughter off, and the sun was almost so blinding it was something like but it was beautiful out. Shouldn't see any situations like we had at the end of the game last week where we had a lightning delay. Really not any clouds in the sky, just some of that high level stuff, and hopefully we'll get this one in. It'll be a beautiful night and stay nice. So.
That was one of the most unbelievable evenings we've ever had, I believe. You get to that point in the ball game where you got a football team that had made as many mistakes as what we did, but yet we're still, with a couple of minutes left to go in the ball game, just an onside kick away from at least making the game interesting. And then at the most inopportune time, just as everybody lines up for the onside kick, here's a bolt of lightning in the sky to our left, and the officials come out. We couldn't understand exactly what they were doing at that point in time. The next thing you know, though, all the teams were off the field. They were moving to the locker rooms, and we get the announcement that we have a 30-minute lightning delay. Holy mackerel. that was one in a million.
It was not a good situation. The teams, I think you and I talked about it on the off the air, but I think, one of the things you need to do is, you're looking out for the safety of everybody involved. Yeah. But at the same time, you let them kick the ball. The Lightning was 20 miles away, easy. You let them kick the onside kick. If Evergreen gets it, game done. If Bryan gets it, then we talk about it.
Then maybe you do your 30-minute delay and you try to decide. What they did was they went in, and midway through the delay, the rain came through, the storm was all over us, and it was a decision then to just call the game and to end it at that point in time. And the Bears basically go down to their fourth defeat of the year, and it's hard to imagine that we're in week 5 already and in week 2 here of the conference, Chris.
Yep, absolutely. And it's not been a really good start for the Golden Bears.
No, not at all.
0-4. It's not what you expect, but this team's young. We knew that ahead of time, and we're just kind of seeing these things all shake out.
No doubt about that, and to make things a little bit more difficult for the Bears tonight, if they have not had their problems already, some team rule violations are going to cause some kids to not be able to play this ball game tonight. As we go, you'll hear the starting lineups for both the offense and the defense. You will notice some names that are not part of that. You will understand exactly what's going on at that point in time. I think the administration did a nice job this week of trying to investigate this and take care of this, and then adhere to the rules that they have set forth for all these guys. And the coaches, he said the other day, just young guys with some boneheaded moments, and that happens to all of us. Maybe I had a few more of them when I was 14 and 15 years old than what the rest of them do, but hopefully everybody will learn. We'll make it through this night as well, and things will be better once we come out the chute. And things are not going to be easy tonight because we have Swanton here in town. They are 4-0. They are ranked in the state, and they're expecting to come in here and gobble up some Bears tonight.
Yeah, they are, and they have one of the best defensive lines around that we're going to see all season, and that's going to make it really tough. As quarterback tonight will be Zach Nobis, and that's going to be really tough. He's had a little bit of Friday night experience in game week 2 and 3, but he's going to be thrown to the fire against the Swanton team that is really tough. And when's the last time we can say Swanton is in the lead for the NWAL?
You know what? I went back and did a little homework on that. Swanton has won 5 league championships in their history, Chris.
Okay.
Last time they won the NWAL was 1995. They won in 91, they won in 89, they won in 85, they won in 81. And that is a league that has been around since 1926. So they've only credited with 5 league championships here in their entire history. And again, the last time was 1995. So it has been 20 years ago since they were the NWAL champs. And the way that they have been playing at 4-0, you would expect that they are at least one of the guys in the conversation right now to pull this down right now. Here's an interesting one. How many times has Bryan won the NWAL, huh?
I don't know.
17.
Really?
How's that? 17 times. Who leads this conference? What team leads the conference in the number of NWAL championships?
I'm gonna guess Wauseon.
Good guess, but it's a team that's no longer in the conference anymore. You had to go out of conference now, but they were in it for a long time.
Napoleon.
And we've seen them once this year. There was going to be the last one. 23 times Napoleon has won the NWAL. Defiance has won it 13 times. Wauseon with 12. Archbold with 9. Delta with 2, Evergreen with 1 back in 1984, Liberty Center with 8, Montpelier with 5. PH, we think about how many championships we think about with PH.
Yeah.
They've won it 10 times, but the thing that you have to understand, they won it 8 times in a row from 2002 to 2009, and they've won all 10 of them from 1997 to 2009. So they had that one spell there for about 15 years where they were loaded with talent.
Yeah, and the Liberty Center number is low to me.
Yeah,
seems low
I
to me
agree.
with the way that they've been state championships and state ranks. Just interesting. But that's some interesting statistics. It took you a long time to get those, or?
Oh man, I went digging all day long. I did that Mark Kelly thing here today almost. How's that, huh? I channeled my inner Mark Kelly. I felt the warm sunshine from Miami or wherever the heck Mark's at nowadays down in Florida. And no, I did just a little digging on the NWAL website. How's that?
Interestingly enough, I'm such a transplant to Northwest Ohio, being originally from Northeast Ohio. I didn't even realize Defiance was in the league. So there you go.
I didn't either until today. How's that, huh? And I knew Napoleon was at one point in time, but I really wasn't thinking about Napoleon at that moment either for being the dominant team basically in this conference. Well, Mike Vickers has come over to head coach this Swanton team. Yep. No, he was at Delta, then he went to Swanton. He's still at Swanton. He also has Tim Speece with him. Speece, obviously, we ran into a couple of years ago when we went over and played Genoa.
Yep.
And that has been a very successful duo for the Swanton Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's just a good coach, and, it's hard to believe, but, they're 4-0, and they've had some good wins.
They really have.
The Archbold one is the one that stands out to me. I know out of conference they haven't played the toughest schedule, but, Archbold down this year, but still, they're a perennial league foe.
They are. Well, they beat Ottawa Hills in week 1, 44-14. Ottawa Hills is 1-3 on the season. They defeated Tiffin Calvert in week 2, 42-7. Calvert is 1-3, and an interesting result there. Calvert lost to Delta 8-0. So you can kind of see the strength of a Calvert team, and you see what the Swanton team did to them, beating them 42-7. And that was down on the same field that we played Columbian on. They went down to Tiffin the week after we went down there. Woodmore, they defeated Woodmore 51-8, and then Archbold 45-7. Woodmore and Archbold both at 2-2 right now. And if you take a look at Archbold, they have defeated Hicksville 27-20, Wycliffe 27-26, and then they lost to Lake 45-0, and also then lost to Swanton 45-7 last week. So tonight will be an interesting night to see how strong this Swanton club is.
Yep.
It will be an interesting night to see how our guys will rally this evening together with their new look lineup and see how we can go against one of the ranked teams in the state of Ohio, and also one of the top 2 teams, I would say. If you're going to look at it, Wauseon, Delta, Swanton, those were my 3 picks. One of those 3 teams to win this conference when we started everything up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they were able to win this game tonight, Bryan, by chance, it'd be a great win to really maybe jumpstart the rest of the season.
It would be. Ball game tonight being brought to you by Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center. We're your friends, we're your family, we're your neighbors. Krill Funeral Home, committed to service is our #1 priority. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of services for all types of people. The Plaza Motel, your home away from home, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. Tompkinson BMW, the home of the ultimate driving machine, and also the sponsor of the Extra Point Show with the coach, and Whelan's Automotive, dealership quality at aftermarket pricing.
Hey, one thing I want to mention, Jim, Public Power Week is coming faster than you know, and BMU is going to host an open house on Thursday, October 8th from 3:30 to 6 out at our building at East Edgerton Street, 841 East Edgerton. This is what's cool. The line workers are going to do a demonstration.
Okay.
And then they just come off that big rodeo competition. Have activities for the kids, and they're going to have hot dogs and free refreshments as well. So.
Lasso them a few electric poles
That's
that
right.
afternoon, right? Huh?
Exciting about that. So that'll be good. That'll be happening Thursday, October 8th from 3:30 to 6. cityofbryan.net will probably have information if I am right.
Why don't we take our first break, and when we come back, we'll let you hear what Coach Redhead has to say about this conference here on BMU TV and BryanSports.com. Coach, it doesn't get any easier this weekend. You're going to be home, but you've got the Swanton Bulldogs coming to town, and I've been watching some film on these guys. They're big. They got a couple wide receivers that are that 6'3" size. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of seniors. I think I counted 21, 22 seniors on this team. You don't have the history necessarily that we do with these guys, but these are kids who have been together since about 5th grade, okay? Mm-hmm. This has been their year for the last 7 years, and it finally is their senior year, and it's not going to be an easy Friday night.
Yeah, it's par for the course. I mean, every team we've played up to this point has had a senior-heavy team. Evergreen was senior-heavy, Napoleon, Tiffin, Van Wert. They've all had their best teams they've had in a while. Okay, so we're still going to line up. We're going to game plan. We're going to play football, and we're going to go to win. They are a good football team. We match up in some areas better than others, but, that's why the scheming comes in and things like that. And, we sit there and look for the areas we can be productive on offense and defense.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Quarterback has been around a while. He's got a good arm. He moves pretty well. Mm-hmm. Likes to throw the football. Likes to run the football.
Yeah, he's a very good quarterback. One of the better ones we've seen. He throws like the kid from Evergreen, but he's got better feet. He's got a good arm, good zip. But he'll just take it and on a naked boot and decide to run. And they've played some teams that they've been able to get up on, and some struggling teams, and I don't know if we're much different, but I know that we're probably more physical than the teams that they played, so hopefully that plays into the scenario a little bit.
Yeah, well, they've got a physical front. I mean, a couple of those mm-hmm. kids up front are 6'3", 6'4", 280. Been around mm-hmm. for a while. They play both ways, so it's going to be a job on that front line too.
Yeah, we're going to have to try and control the line of scrimmage the best we can. Use some of our stunts and some of our defensive, schemes to get them to miss assignments, do things like that. That's why we get it on the board and we plan. And it takes Saturday and Sunday a lot of times till we get something we like. But I feel that we've prepared as best we can, and we're going to give it everything we have. That's the thing. I keep telling the kids that we're fighting for our community, and we want to do well for the community, and we're getting better and we're making strides. It's just it hadn't quite all come together yet, and that's what we're trying to do.
These guys, Coach, one thing that irks me about these guys in Wasion, extra points, they like to spread everybody out, okay? Send them all to both sides and bring them back in. And then spread them back out and bring them back in. I have never even had a problem with that as long as you run something off of it. For the past 3 or 4 years, I've yet to see him actually fake an extra point. And it's always been, I'm an old guy, it's always been one of them things that irks me. Just get down and do your thing and let's play some football. Yeah. That's something that, you have to prepare for, because I did think I saw on film against one of those teams that they actually did fake one this year.
They'll go out and they'll send, 4 out each way, the snapper and the holder and the kicker. And when they do that, you have to prepare for it. What they're trying to do is get you to miss a line and not go out, and then they got an easy 2 points. If you align right each time, 90%, 95% of the time, they'll come back in and kick it. We just have to be headsy enough, focused enough to see when they do that, go to our right spots, get aligned, and be ready to play football. And then when they come back in, they'll kick it and go for the block.
We'll be on our way. Last thing, we'll let you go. It's got to have been a tough week. What's the practices been like this week?
Yeah, practice is normal. We're getting after it. We're going to hit and get after it. Condition, run. We ran for penalties yesterday, and while we're running, we were yelling, "I will not hold," and "I will not rough the passer," and "I will not commit personal fouls," and just for nothing else. It sounds a little hokey, but it's in their mind now. Mm-hmm. It's in their mind a little bit when they're doing something and they're, okay, I got to run. We're in a condition anyways. To use that for conditioning.
Sure.
So, to try and hammer it home, we got to play a cleaner game.
Sounds like a deal. All right. Well, I'm going to let you loose with that one, let you get back to practice. Going to be a tough one Friday night, but I'm sure you guys will be ready for it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good. That's going to do it for this time. If it's Friday night, it's time for football here on BMU Channel 3.
Well, Eric came back to us, and we were in the middle of the national anthem. I didn't know what I was supposed to say.
Well, you know exactly what happens when they get two good-looking guys up here in a booth like this. They can't help but get the camera on them every now and then, Chris. We've had that problem, you and me, all our lives, right? Is that just the way that it works?
I know, it's kind of crazy, but up here in the press box and getting set to this one, boy, the thing that impresses me is the size of the Swanton team. I remember them being much, much smaller numbers, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
no doubt.
You're right, I heard in the pregame as you were talking to Coach, it has been their year for 7 years. So this is the year. This is the group, right?
It has been. This is the group. These are the seniors. These are the guys that are hanging their hat on. They're number 10 in the state. The new computer ratings just came out. Yep. D5, they're number 10. They have the talent, and I'll tell you, one of the guys that really scares you when you take a look at him, number 11, Gunnar Oakes, who is 6'3", 195 pound. He's only a junior, but they play him as a kick returner, a defensive back. He's also a wide receiver. Big guy, knows what to do with the football when he gets it. Also, Bryce McComb, their quarterback, 6 foot, 170 pound senior. Coach, as he said in the pregame show, he thinks this guy has the best feet and the best technique and mechanics of anybody in the league as far as the quarterbacks. So you got a couple of guys right there, and then you can also throw in some guys who know how to run the ball extremely well. Running back that they have, Robbie Gilsdorf. I think we've talked about him quite a bit in the last couple of years. Jordan Naylor, also another young guy that can move things around. Bears will get the ball first, so we'll have the offense, and it'll be an interesting situation to see how this all works out for the Bears here tonight. They'll drop Keller all the way back to the 5-yard line, and then Corbin Garza will be right in the middle. Peters to his right, and I believe over here Jacob Kuba, that's 7. And Jake will be on the home side right around the 25-yard line. And we'll see how this will all play out. Nick Koback will be the kicker here tonight for Swanton.
And in case they try to squib it, you also see Mr.
Bells and Jones. Sitting up there around the 30-yard line. Because we had that one tough one last week that was a little pop-up kick that we couldn't field. And I'm sure they've watched the video of that one, too. This one will be kicked deep, though. And Keller will get a chance to field this one at the 5 and bring it right up the middle of the football field. He has some room. He'll cut back to his right at the 25, still on his feet, almost to the 30-yard line. And the Bears, just like that, will have great field position to start everything on their own 30-yard line. I know I heard Andy talk about it a little while ago while we were in our break, and I would agree with it. Teams that have this kind of a hype, teams that have this kind of a winning streak, and oftentimes can come out and be a little bit flat, a little bit tight. And the Bears really have nothing to lose. Let's just see how they can make things happen here tonight, and hopefully they'll be able to put some points on the board. That has been one of the big problems. All the penalties have been a problem with them, too.
Absolutely.
They'll come out with an eye look right now as the quarterback, Nobis, will go under center. He'll turn around and hand the football off, and that is Damon Belts, and Belts will just basically get back to the line of scrimmage before he is knocked backwards. Sankowitz is one of the young guys that were there to knock him down. And also number 58, Dean Seago, the other guy coming up off that pile. For the Bears tonight on the offensive line, it'll be Travis Beck at right guard. It'll be Chance Taylor at right tackle. The center is Ryan Perkornick. Chris Whitler is the right guard, and the left guard, and the left tackle is Tyson Ogden. So they moved guys around on that front just a little bit as well. They'll drop and look to throw, and now he'll run right up the middle of the field. Across the 35, close to the 38-yard line, maybe even the 39-yard line goes Zach Nobis, and Nobis will set up a third and a very workable short 2. So a nice job by Nobis to be able to get up. He's got Drew Peters as one wide receiver, Jacob Kuba as the other, Josh Jones, Jake Hausch, and then Damon Belts in the backfield with him. In fact, when they go to that eye look, they'll have Drew Lockhoff now as the up back with Belts standing up in that I-back formation. And they'll hand it off to the first guy, and Lockhoff will be across the 40-yard line all the way to the 48-yard line. That'll be a first down as the Bears pick up about 6. And a nice job by the interior of that line. And Chris, I'll tell you, the one thing I like about what they've done tonight, they put the big meat right there, that guard spot. They've moved basically Whitler and also Beck into guards this week. Put them right next to Pekornik, and I would think that you might be able to move some things right up the center of that field. Screen pass, and the Bears complete it to Belts. Belts, though, will be hit in the backfield. He'll fight his way back up to the line of scrimmage and maybe get a yard. And a good job then by that Swanton defense to be able to come up and knock him down. And again, Dean Seago, one of the defensive linemen, gets back into that screen pass and busts up the lane and stops Belts for a very short pickup of about a yard. 10 minutes just barely underway here in this first quarter. Bears have the ball, first drive of the evening here. They'll pitch, and Bells will sweep left end, and he's going absolutely nowhere. Nick Senkowitz is able to make penetration around that right end spot, and he's going to drop Damon Belts all the way back to the 42-yard line, so Damon will lose about 3. Senkowitz on the big tackle. It'll be third down now, about 13 for the Bears.
Yeah, it was blocked well. It just they were in the backfield before he even had the ball. I mean, he had the blockers on the outside is what I mean.
Going to have to be able to control these guys on both ends if they're going to be able to make anything happen here tonight. And there's some pretty good size up front. We'll get to them here in just a minute. 4 men down linemen, 3 linebackers right now for Swanton. Drops back, throws a little flanker screen or the halfback screen, and it's going to be snuffed out too. Lockoff is the young man that catches that football, but he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, they're going to say he lost about a yard, so it'll be fourth down now and almost 14. Nowakowski is the young man that made the tackle, and Bears going to have to kick this thing away. And just as we say, Gunnar Oates, number 11, is on the home side back around the 25-yard line. And Robbie Gilsdorf then is the other young man of the visitor side of the 25. As Jones will kick this one away. Bears got a first down. The snap way over Jones's head. He's got to run all the way back to the 10. He's got time, though, and he'll get this kick away. It'll be a decent kick, but it's going to get basically back to the line of scrimmage and then take a bad bounce and go backwards, and it will be a net punt of about a yard, maybe 2 yards. After that ball was snapped way over Josh Jones's head all the way back to the 10-yard line. He actually kicked that from the 10 back out to about the 45, and then with the backspin, it ends up on the Bryan 42-yard line, and that's where Swanton will have the football for their first drive of the night. And a real unfortunate situation in Josh Jones, really just not even a chance. That thing was snapped way over his head, Chris.
Yep, absolutely. And great field position for Swanton.
Swanton will come out. It'll be McComb under center, and he'll go right there. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield. A wing back to the right. They'll turn, and they'll hand that ball off on a straight dive. And the very first play will go for a couple of yards, and I believe that was number 23, Lankowitz. Lonzak. We're going to call him Lonzak. 23, Michael Lonzak. There you go. L-A-W-N-I-C-Z-A-K.
Any name that has CZs in it is not what it's written.
Well, and that darn Jingalewski thing down here always gets in your way at times as well. But Lonzak with the first carry, he gets 2, second and 8. 2 running backs in the backfield. They will hand off, and the sweep will come around the right end. Into the open field of the 20, at the 10, at the 5, and all the way into the end zone goes Noah Johnston. So Johnston totes the rock 40 yards down the right end, and nobody able to tackle him, and Johnston will open up the scoring tonight for the Swanton Bulldogs. As just like that, 2 plays, touchdown for the Bulldogs. It's 6-0.
Wow. That's tough. Just went around right end and not able to pick it up.
Bears didn't get any real penetration on that line, and a good situation for blocking. And I'll tell you, you go back into this, we didn't get a chance to set their offensive line. It happened so quick. Go back with the extra point. It's up, and it's also good, so make it 7-0. 7:39 to play, opening quarter. The Bears down by a touchdown, 7-0 here on BryanSports.com. Deep kick opens up the second series here for the Bears, and it sends Color about 3 yards deep into the end zone.
And there he stayed, which I'm very happy about.
And the Bears will have the football here at the 20-yard line to open up drive number 2. And again, for the Bears, quarterback Zach Nobis coming out on the football field. The defense for the Swanton football team really has been their strength so far this year. And their defensive line includes Dean Seago, Nick Sankowitz, and Owen Dodd.
The
And
last drive, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah, no
you.
problem.
2 plays, 42 yards, 40 seconds. Sorry about that.
Handoff to Belts, and Belts has some room right up the center of the field. He'll squirt his way out to the 25-yard line, so give Damon just about 5 yards on that first down carry. Linebacker Zach Leahy, Crew Obenheimer, and the defensive backs, and they will move those backs around as almost like they're linebackers. You've got Johnston, Shanks, Oaks, and also the big guy, the quarterback McComb, actually goes both ways. Again, a dive play to Lockoff, and Lockoff will have a couple. Same side, going right off that right guard spot, the 2-hole, and third down now and 3 for the Bears. And so really it's not been a bad situation so far for the Bears. Chris, they've had third down and short, but they're going to have to start converting these third down and shorts and maintain that football, because they really can't play in a track meet tonight against this bunch from Swanton.
Absolutely, and and Swanton's getting good penetration on four linemen.
Hand off to Belts, and he'll get the first down as he tumbles his way over the 30-yard line to the 31. Run a couple of new guys in there for the inside of that line. J.D. Reisinger is 14, and also number 9, Gage Patchover. And it was Reisinger and Patchover, the two guys that made the tackle on that last stop, but not before Damon Belts gets ahead for the first down. And again, this is a line that is somewhat the same. They've shifted them a little bit here this week. A new face on that front line, but everybody playing in just a little different position tonight, so it might take them a series or two to get a few things taken care of. Nobis runs and tries to dump that football off before he gets dumped in the backfield, and the pass will be just a little bit wide of number 28, Drew Lockoff. And it was Owen Dodd that was putting the heat on him, or 18, Crew Oberheim.
Yeah, and he got a big hit as he let the ball go.
So Oberheim made the hit.
Kind of pancaked him.
He sure did, and Nobis just barely able to get that thing away. And again, for Zach only a sophomore, so he's getting some big minutes here under the lights on Friday night. 6:09 to play first quarter. If you just joined us, Bears down 7-0. They got the opening kick.
Blitz coming.
And we got offsides as the young number 9, Gage Palkoffer, was a little bit early getting across that line of scrimmage, so a little help that time. We'll get the Bears set up at a second down now and a workable 5. So the Bears got the ball to open things. They couldn't make things work after a first down. Kick the ball off. Would it take 2 plays, Chris, or 3 plays?
2 plays.
2 plays for Swanton to go 42 yards for a touchdown, and the second play was for 40 of those 42. Belts gets the handoff and a short pickup here as he really gets back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, you might have lost a half a foot or so.
I'm giving him 0.
There you go. Third down still a short 5 for the Bears. And again on the 36-yard line. We got big Chris Bryce down there tonight, going to give us some scores tonight too. Oh my gosh, I forgot. We got the big fella down there working it out. Slot look now for the Bears, and they'll pitch this thing, and Belts will cut it back off of left guard instead of going around the corner, and he's going to get a short yard, maybe 2, but it'll set up 4th down, and the Bears are going to have to kick this football back to a very, very, very strong Bulldog offense. Gunnar Oates drops back again. Jones hoping to have a little better snap this time than he got the last time.
I bet.
Gilsdorf 22. And before anything starts, we have a timeout called, and I think it came from the Swanton sideline. So we'll take one with him. 5:01 to play, first quarter. Bears down 7-0 here on BryanSports.com. Here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris on a Friday night. Bears are going to have to kick this thing away. And as we said before the break, Josh Jones hoping that this is going to be a situation where this snap's going to be a little bit better than the last one. They've moved Gunnar Oaks now back up into the middle of the field as they might expect a fake here from the Bears. Good snap. Jones going to kick this one away. The only guy back is Gilsdorf, and he'll pick it up on the bounce of the 25-yard line. Makes the first guy miss, gets a block. He's across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Bears will tumble him down right there, but it'll be first down and 10. Damon Belts was the first guy that missed him. And then Farrell and Whitler were the 2 guys that came in to clean everything up. So first down and 10 now for the Swanton Bulldogs.
It only took 2 plays last time, so
Ouch.
Yeah.
Let's hope we can extend their drive just a little bit here this time, and then maybe even force them to kick. Bryce McComb, the quarterback, another senior. When you take a look at their lineup here tonight, a lot of seniors, a couple of juniors. But as we've talked about here in the pregame show, this was the class that they bragged about 5 years ago. Kept them all together as freshmen, didn't let them come up and play any varsity ball. They were very dominant in their freshman year. Handoff, sweep, right side, tackle broken. Noah Johnston, the young man that went 40 for a touchdown, spun out of a tackle in the backfield back around the 30, and he'll be knocked down at about the 35 after he picks up about 3.
Yeah, nice job. The first person missed him, but the second person came in and really wrapped him up. Can't tackle him high. Got to tackle him at the legs.
Brant Hall, Christian Riddle, and Chance Taylor, the down linemen here tonight. The linebackers here for the Bears, Farrell, Wagner, Oliphant, and Lockhoff, and then the defensive backs, Corbin Garza, Jacob Hausch, Jacob Kuba, and Sam Culler. So an awful lot of guys are going to have to play some serious minutes tonight. And Culler has that interesting matchup with Gunnar Oaks at the top of the screen. McComb will roll to the visitor side. We've got flags everywhere and got to be a holding call.
I think it's a hold on Swanton.
Back in that backfield, I think you're right, as McComb will get ahead for a couple of yards, but we'll see what the penalty's all about.
Let's see what they say here.
Flags everywhere.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Holding at the offense, and the good news is it's going to be marched off from where the holding occurred, which is clear back at the 30-yard line. Offensive line of Connor Yanni, Zach Nowakowski, Dean Seago, Austin Jones, and Zach Zingaluski. And Zingaluski is the left tackle. He's 6'3", 240. Jones is the right tackle at 6'3", 280, Chris. So a couple of bookends on either side that are pretty good side that really can make some things happen. Then you've got the center, Nowakowski, and the guards, Yanni and also Seago. And that first drive that they had, they just blocked perfectly and was able to open up some big holes. This time they have found the running just a little bit more difficult, and now with a second down and long, McComb will drop and look to throw this one deep, and it's over everybody's head. A little collision back around the 45-yard line.
They're going to throw pass interference. He turned and ran into our guy.
Late call as Gilsdorf was down there pleading his case after he took a look as the ball went over his head.
The ball went over his head, and then he ran into our guy.
The official stood and watched for a while before he reached in that pocket and pulled out that flag.
I don't know about that one.
And I think what's going to have to happen here, they're probably going to have a late hit.
Watch
you
the
can watch the replay on this on Saturday night.
He ran into our guy.
Just some collision. The ball had gone over their head.
Wow.
And he had to wait for a minute or two and thought about it just a little bit after he watched after he listened to what the young man had to say to him there, and then he reached for that flag
pass interference, 15-yard penalty. Still.
I don't think you can call it pass interference. I think maybe if you wanted to get a late hit or something after the ball went over him.
I don't know about
but that ball was over everybody's head after he pulled for that flag. So pass interference would not be the correct call. Maybe if you want to call a late hit because the ball had already hit the ground on the other side, I'd go along with that. But instead,
is that a 15-yarder?
Second down, 15-yard penalty makes it second down and 8 now. McComb will roll to the home side looking to throw the ball, and he's got his guy, the big guy, Oaks, in the flats. Oates will be wrapped up by 3 Bears at the 41-yard line, so he'll be a yard short. It'll set up a third down and about 1. And a nice job by Clayton Farrell to get over and wrap him up, and then he had some help. Bears tonight in their purple pants, their purple unis, purple jerseys, gold helmets, gold trim, gold letters on their front of those shirts. And for Swanton, they're in all white tonight with the purple letters and the purple trim and the big purple S on the side of the helmets with the double stripes right down the middle. Third down, and we'll call it a very short one as they're on the 41-yard line and they have to get to the 42, and the ball is really on the Bryan side of the 41, and we have a procedure call on Swanton before they can actually get this play underway. And so instead of being third down and short, it will be third down and just over 5, and we will substitute as they will bring their wide receiver core back in and send their tight ends to the sideline.
We'll send the beef out.
Going to send the beef out.
Yep, Christian Riddle came running off there. 5'11", 280.
Owens and Senkowitz both go off. Those are the 2 tight ends. They're pretty good sized fellows too. And they'll bring in their wide receiver team. They got triples to the top, single running back in the backfield. roll out, and the completion will be enough for the first down, as the completion will get out over the 45 to the 46-yard line. And again, they go to the big guy, Gunnar Oaks. So Oaks pulls it in, gets enough for the first down. Chance Taylor makes the tackle from his defensive end spot. And it will be first down now and 10 for Swanton. 2:46 to play, opening quarter. Bears trail 7-0 here. Swanton with their second opportunity of the night. The first time they went 2 plays, 42 yards. This time at least, Chris, we're going to make them earn it if they're going to get down and make this thing happen. Late substitution is Jonathan Shanks comes onto the field. They've got triples to the right and a single to the top. Single running back in the backfield. McComb will run towards the visitor's side. He's got pressure, but he finds his man down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line, and that's the young man that we were talking about, Shanks, who got in front of the defensive back, Jacob Hausch. And a nice pitch and catch between he and Bryce McComb.
20 yards for pitch and catch.
Puts the football into Golden Bear territory at the 27-yard line. Clock stops with 2:19 as they spin it again. And the Bears defense is going to be tested tonight. This is an offensive team that can get up and down the field. As you've seen all year long, they're averaging over 40 points a night. McComb with that delay, and the handoff goes to 23, Lonisick, and Lonisick will be ahead of the 20-yard line, giving him about a 7-yard pickup. And Sam Culler and Jacob Kuba out around that area. They're going to give that tackle, I think, to 7. I think he had the same problem reading that 7 and 2, because you look at Kuba holding his shoulder just a little bit right now from where he made that last tackle, and that 7 and that 2 at times can really throw you, Chris, can it, huh?
Yes, it can.
Big number 11, Gunnar Oaks, is the wide receiver here on the home side. Bears jump off sides, and I believe that was the interior.
Nope, they were drawn off sides.
Drawn off sides, so the offense pulls them off. Brant Hall was the young guy that was moving in the middle, but he was moving because somebody in a white helmet was moving as well.
Swanton penalized 4 times for 25 yards already.
So to make it second down now and about 8 yards to go here for the Swanton Bulldogs. 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play, and the Bears trail 7-0 if you just joined us here on BryanSports.com. We'll try to get down on the next in between quarters and talk to Chris Bryce and see what's going on around the area. Obviously some big games tonight in the NWOAL, and we're going to be interested to see how they come out. Double running backs in the backfield, and they will hand it to the second guy. That's Johnson, and Johnson will stay on his feet, get his way to about the 20-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark him.
Got the 5 back.
Culler with the tackle for the Bears. Third down now and about 4 yards for the Swanton Bulldogs. And, you know, I'll tell you one good thing we're seeing tonight. I think Jordan Armbruster is back for the Bears. He'd been battling a couple of bumps and bruises there for a while, and it's good to see Jordan in. I know Coach was missing him.
He played at the end of last week's game, just a little bit.
A lot of things planned for young Mr. Armbruster, but, you know, it's a tough game, so at times you do have to worry about that as well. And just like brag about him, he kind of missed a tackle, but there were plenty of Golden Bears there to help him. And the handoff that goes to 23, Lonisick, will only get him about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and it'll set up a fourth down at about 2. And give the tackle to Hall in the middle of that, along with young Mr. Farrell again.
Are they going for it?
4 seconds to go. I think they're going to wait and make that decision here at the end of the quarter when they open up the second quarter. We played 1 here in Bryan, and the Bears are down 7-0 on BryanSports.com.
Beautiful night in Bryan, Ohio.
Yeah, beautiful night in Bryan, Ohio, and it looks like basically the Swanton Bulldogs said, we're going to put our offense back out there because we believe we can get this yard and a half on your defense right now. And they will come out with that wing T look with the 2 running backs in the backfield and the wing back to the right side. And the quarterback, McComb, will go straight ahead with the football, and he will have that first down, as he basically is not even touched until he gets down to about the 15-yard line. He was on his way down to the ground the whole time, but the front of that interior line just basically pushed that defensive line back about 2 yards, and McComb was able to get a first down easily.
We'll be sending it down to Chris Bryce momentarily. He's got some scores for us.
Getting that wing T look with the 2 running backs in the backfield and the wing back offset to the right. And they'll turn and hand the ball off again to Lonowitz. And Lonacek gets about 5 almost down to the 15-yard line, maybe 6.
You got 6.
From the 16 down to the 5, down to the 10. It'll be second down now and about 4. And we will go down here in a minute and talk to Chris and see what's going on around the conference. Lonozak in the backfield along with Noah Johnston. And they'll fake, and McComb will roll towards the home side, looking to throw the ball. Now he's got some heat. Makes one guy miss. Now he sprints up the sideline and will step out of bounds down around the 5-yard line. I think they're going to give him maybe the 4.
Pickup of 6, but that should be a first down.
First down and goal, and you can see what the coach was talking about with Bryce McComb, Chris. Looked like he was in all kinds of trouble in the backfield to the 360. Next thing you know, there were no purple shirts around him, and he was scooting down that sideline looking for the end zone. They'll put it on the 4. They'll drop the sticks on the opposite side. It will be first down and goal for the Bulldogs as they look to add to their 7-0 lead just underway here in the second quarter. We played just over a minute here in quarter number 2. Handoff goes to Lonacek, and he has stood up right at the line of scrimmage, and a nice job by the Bears to react to that, lock off the first guy that was able to get in there, and also Christian Riddle with a little help.
He had 16 yards going into that play, and 16 yards he shall have at the end
coming
of that
out of
play.
it. Justin Timpey, 37, had checked in as well. He'll go to the sideline now. And they'll bring Noah Johnston back onto the football field. And they'll go to that big look as they bring the tight end in. Robbie Gilsdorf on the wing on the right, offset. Lonozak in the backfield. They'll hand it to Johnston. He'll follow Lonozak off the right tackle spot. He'll be close to the goal line, and the official then signals for the touchdown. So Swanton able to take a little more time in this drive, but the conclusion is the same as they go the distance, get the 6 points, and make it 13-0 here with 10-11 to play in the second quarter. Nick Koback kicked the first one, and he's on the field right now, number 1. McComb will be his holder. And, you know, this is a team that we've seen quite a few times, and I saw it on tape, Chris, that like to spread things out on that extra point look. Koback kicks this one through, and it's 14-0. 10-11 to play, second quarter. Bears down 14-0 here on BryanSports.com. Why don't we hang on to this one right here and go down to Chris Bryce and see if we can't check in with some scores around the area. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, Jim, looks like we got some scores happening all over Northwest Ohio. It's Patrick Henry getting beat by Delta 7-0. Wauseon over Archbold 7-0. Liberty Center and Evergreen are tied up 7-7. Defiance getting beat pretty bad, 28-0 by Salina. It's 0-0 after 1 between Napoleon and Northview. It's Wayne Trace over Ayersville 8-0. Toledo Christian is beating Montpelier 8-0, and Tenor over Edgerton 13-0. All these scores are in the first quarter. Back up to you.
Well, we played a quarter in about 2 minutes here in this one, and the Bears find themselves down 14-0, and Sam Culler will go deep. He'll stand right at the goal line waiting on this kick, and Nick Koback knocked the last one deep into the end zone, kicking from a different direction this time. Swanton going from the right to the left here on your computer screen here tonight. Bears going from the left to the right. Koback kicks this one. It's another high boomer, but Culler will return this one as he comes out to the 10, takes it at the 11. Has some room, middle of the field, breaks the tackle, 40, 45, midfield, and into Swanton territory at the 48-yard line goes Sam Culler. So the Bears with a nice kick return. And just like that, they have some life here in this second quarter, Chris, and it's time now to be able to find that end zone and make this a 14-7 ball game.
He has some good speed, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. You know, it's always fun to watch the colors, and it's always fun to watch big number 2s. It was easy to remember the colors there.
That's
because,
right.
you know,
They were number 2.
same number and almost the same exact body style with these two big, tall, lanky fellas. Trips to the right. Nobis, I think, got the ball a little bit early. Nobody was moving, and because of that, Owen Dodd's able to make the penetration and drop Nobis for about a 2-yard loss, and I got to believe the way that one unfolded, Chris, that ball got there about one snap too early, because You had 3 wide receivers down here that were standing still. You had a quarterback that looked like he was a little bit surprised, and the next thing you know, I'm sure the line not ready to go as well. So another one of those mistakes in the middle of that line that I'm sure will get fixed as we go. Just a little bit more time on a Friday night. Jones will go in motion. Novus under heat. He's going down again.
Every time they snap the ball, there's 3 guys in the backfield.
No doubt about that. Sankowitz this time, number 82, was the first guy to get back there. But he had help as he had Dean Seago right next to him. Sankowitz wrapped Novus up and dropped him back into Bear territory at the 43-yard line. So the Golden Bears now going backwards on this offensive possession.
They need to give him some time.
Definitely need to give him some time. This has been absolutely a fire drill almost to the quarterback.
And they're not blitzing. They're running their line.
No,
it's their line.
They've got 4 down linemen, and 3 of them, as you said, Chris, are getting to the backfield. And it's Sankowitz again. This time Novus gets loose. He'll turn the left corner, but he's got no place to go, and he'll get wrapped up and knocked down by Oberheim as the linebacker saw him coming. In fact, it was 9 Pouchover that made the tackle, and they'll give an assist to J.D. Reisinger. So the Bears, after the promising kick return, watch the offense stall, and they're going to have to punt this one away. And with 8:05 to play here in the second quarter, Swanton about to get this football back. Jones with a good snap, and he'll kick it, and Oaks will fair catch it. Lost the handle, ball's loose, Bears on top of it. Golden Bears football down at the 21-yard line. Oaks was looking, trying to make up his mind. Is he going to catch it and run? Is he going to fair catch it? Put his hand in the air, took his eye off the ball. It hit him in the worst possible spot. He dropped the football, and there were Bears all over the football at the 21-yard line. I have to look at the replay to see who got on that one. Couple of guys down there, and it was kind of hard to tell which one actually recovered the football, but doesn't matter as the football belongs to the Golden Bears on the Swanton 21-yard line. Offset eye look again as Novus is going to try to throw, runs into his running back, throws it out in the flat, and this is going absolutely nowhere. Arthur was the young man that made the catch up there. So Colt Arthur on the catch. But the loss will be about we're going to mark it off now, about 4, maybe 5.
Oh.
Yeah, all the way back to the 27-yard line.
-7.
So a loss of 7 on first down. And again, you want to talk about that coordination. It was a quarterback that bumped into a running back before he was able to try to throw. Everything took forever. And at that point in time, the defenders were able to read where he was going, wrap him up for the loss as Arthur had no chance. Novus running again. He'll roll to the right. Now he throws it into the flat. He's got a wide open lock-off into the flat at the 15, at the 10, to the 9. Nice job of dumping that one off as Novus was able to scramble away from the pressure and drop that one down to Drew Lockoff for a nice pickup as he's all the way down to the 9. That's about 18, I think, on that pickup.
Yep.
First down now and goal for the Bears.
That went to Lockoff?
Yep. And the mark really unfortunately, just inside the 10. That ball needs to be a $5 foot long the other way there, Chris. You know what I mean?
Yep. So no opportunity to earn a first down.
And the Bears going to have to call a timeout because they've got an extra guy on the football field right now. With that, we'll take a timeout. 6:40 to play in the first half. Bears trail 14-0, but they're in the red zone here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium as the Bears had to call that timeout with a little confusion on the field, and they'll bring doubles to the top, put Peters all by himself here to the bottom. I formation in that backfield right now. Novus will go under center, and we step off sides on the top. Tyson Ogden, the left tackle, moving about a step too early.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, repair first down.
So the Bears will go from their 9 to their 14, and it will stay first down and goal for the Golden Bears.
2 penalties, 20 yards for Bryan.
Arthur and Jones will go to the top. Peters to the bottom. Lockoff and Belts in the backfield, and it's Damon that has the football puts his head down, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. You'll get about a yard. We'll give him to about the 14-yard line.
Generous
In fact,
yard and a half.
Give him about 1 as he got to about the 13 from the 14. And if you really want to do that, we'd have to take about a $5 foot long off of that spot as well. But second down and goal at the 13 now for the Bears with 6:13 and counting here before the half. Bears trail 14-0. Halftime, we'll have the band performance, and also Chris Bryce will get us updated what's going on around the area in Northwest Ohio in football. Again, that eye look, Novus turns, hands, fakes. Zach Jones around the left corner at the 9, at the 8, stays on his feet at the 5. And I'll tell you what, if Josh Jones could have just taken off, they had that one played pretty well. Faked the dive play to Damon Belts going to the middle. Pitched that ball up to Jones. He kind of stuttered in the backfield, and Swanton, as quick as what they are, were able to react to that. Jones was able to get it down to about the 8. So give him 5. Set up third down and goal from the 8-yard line. But I think Jones, if he'd just put that thing in that hyperdrive, could have gotten it close to that goal line. But he stutter-stepped in the backfield looking for where he was going to go instead of just running towards that corner. High snap. Bells is the running back, and he wasn't able to get the ball cleanly. It bounced up in the air. He pulled it back down, and they will drop him at the 13-yard line. And it looks like the Bears will try a field goal here from about the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. And it's been another problem this year, too. We're breaking in a brand-new center this year. Had a high snap on the punt earlier in the ball game that gave Swanton great field position, which resulted in a 2-play, 42-yard drive to set up that first touchdown. Jones is going to come in to kick this one. He'll kick it from about the 18-yard line, so it's about a 28-yarder. And I'll tell you, Josh has kicked them from here all year long. This one is dead center and a good 25 yards long. So if you need Jones to kick you a 45-yarder tonight, he's got it in the leg. The kick is good. We have Laundry, though, on the field, it looks like, down around the 22-yard line. And it appears that we're talking to Swanton. Maybe it was after the play was over, possibly. Roughing the kicker against Swanton.
Oh, that brings whole new life.
That turns it all the way around. So the Bears, who had just put 3 on the board, I'm sure will take the 3 back off of that board and get a fresh new set of downs and some better field position as the offense comes rushing off that sideline again. Let's not forget one thing, Chris. This was a team last year that had us down big time at halftime. If you remember all the things that we went through at halftime up in that press box at Swanton last year, talking about state titles and state playoffs, and we're going here and we're going there. And that second half turned all the way around. Damon Belts again in that wildcat look and the power look, and he'll go right side. He's inside the 5, close to the 3. And I would say you're going to line that rascal right up again and keep pounding it until you end up in pay dirt. Sankowitz with the tackle. They're actually going to mark Damon down at the 4, not the 3. Second down and goal, and it looks like the same look, exactly the same look on that football field. Nope, they brought Novus back in at quarterback, and they've gone back to the eye. Lockhoff is the fullback, and Belts is the eye back, and with that, the Bears will have to take a timeout. 3:54 to go in this first half. Bears trail 14-0, but they're knocking on the door here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, the Bears have talked it over, Chris, for 3:54 to play in this opening half. And it's second down and goal inside the 5-yard line.
And now they're back in the Wildcat.
And that makes an awful lot of sense to me.
I just do it 3 more times.
You know what? I'll tell you, that is a pretty solid look for these young guys. We've got number 10, Jay Mannix, clear up at the top. Belts will go left side this time. He's on his feet at the 1. He's driving, and he's in. And the Golden Bears will capitalize on a major roughing the kicker penalty by Swanton. And it's now a 14-6 game with 3:49 to play here in the half with the extra point coming. And Big Chet Dangler's got him down there, revving him up here tonight, Christopher. He's going to be doing that Chet dance at halftime, I'm sure. Up and down that sidelines, getting the fans all fired up. And he loves, there you go, you can see the score by Damon Belts. That play has been very successful all year long. The extra point, the snap was good, the hold was good, and the kick is perfect, and it's 14-7. 3:49 to go in the first half. Bears making this one a ball game. 14-7, Bears trail here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, and I missed that going on the way out, didn't I? With that wireless camera. Who's that, Shar? It wouldn't surprise me that that's Shar down there.
Look at that. That's a great view right there.
Yeah, look at that. Tell you what, we do our best. And at halftime tonight, obviously the Bryan Golden Bear Band. Both bands here tonight, as Swanton has theirs here on the premises as well tonight. Gilsdorf will be the young man that will be right in the middle of the field. And guess what? There's no Oaks. Number 11 is not back to return this kick. Johnston is on our side right in front of us. And Shanks, number 6, on the visitor side, all of them down around the 10-yard line right now. Jones to kick this one off. 3:49 to play, opening half, and he'll drive this one deep. It'll go to Shanks. He'll field it at the 5, at the 10, at the 15. There's a hole. 30, 40. Jones the last guy to get him. Shanks still on his feet, but here comes Color. It's a foot race. 20, 10, 5, and he's going to take it the distance. Shanks takes it back 95 yards.
You know, I was just going to say this, but is there a penalty? There's a flag. There's a flag down by the 20.
Down around the 20-yard line.
That's a weird spot for a flag.
Yeah, because there was really nobody down there. That's a sideline violation. Everybody was coming out to get a little better look there from the Swanton side, so that will stand as a 95-yarder. And boy, I'll tell you what. That was number 6.
That was
Jonathan Shanks. Took that one back, and I didn't catch the replay on that, but I'm thinking it was around the 10 or the 5. It was 90 or 95 yards.
Yeah, it was 95 yards for sure.
Unfortunately for the Bears.
I was just going to say it. I didn't say it, but I was going to say, here's the part where they've played well. I'd onside kick it.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
Extra point is up and good, and with 3:36 to play here in the ball game, in the first half of the ball game, it's 21-7. So all the momentum that the Bears had worked for to try to get build up here right before the half has kind of been blown up here with that big kick return by Shanks.
That was huge.
Mr. Bryce, are you down there with any updates? Maybe just one or two of them down there that we could throw in here while we're waiting on this thing to get kicked off.
Looks like we got Tenor over Edgerton 13-7. Looks like Liberty Center went up over Evergreen 14-7.
That's an interesting one there. Liberty beating Evergreen 14-7 right now.
And Ayersville beating Wayne Trace 20-8. And that's the only updates I got right now, Mr. Jim.
Well, go back to work because we're going to make you work here at halftime to earn your keep here tonight. How's that? 3:36 to go. The good news is, Chris, with that happening that quickly, we have plenty of time back up on that clock for the Golden Bears to be able to maybe answer that score. Obviously, Bears have the opening kickoff, so Swanton will get the ball to open everything up in the third quarter. Bears would like to be able to run this last 3:36 out and maybe come up with some points to make this a ball game again before they go into the locker room.
I wish I would have said that about the onside kick. I would have looked prophetic.
Normally but oftentimes we can jinx those, you and I, so that'll be a good thing. Damon Belts has the squib kick come to him. He fought it for a minute, was able to pick it back up. He's still on his feet now as he broke a tackle at the 33-yard line, got across the 35, and I think they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 37, but he actually was tackled close to the 40. So Belts had a little problem. It kind of hamstrung him just a little bit as that one squibbed right at his feet.
Department has provided water.
And I think Swanton saw the tape last week and was looking for maybe that turnover and that quick score before the half too, Chris. Instead, it will be Bryan's ball on their own 37-yard line, first down and 10. Bryan with one timeout left here. Swanton with 2, if anybody needs them. Bears have triples right in front of us. Peters is the closest. 2 guys on the wing and a single receiver to the top. Screen pass goes to Damon Belts, and Belts juggled the ball for a second, and because of the juggle, he got knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Zach Leahy, the sophomore, made the tackle, and Belts will lose a couple, make it second down now and 12. Nobis again comes over to the sideline, talks to Coach Redhead, and then trots his way back out to the huddle. So far tonight, Chris, you know, I tell you, they're playing hard, trying to fight their way through and try to maybe pull off the upset against this Swanton football team. Peters goes in motion. Handoff goes to Belts, but it was not a pretty handoff, and Nobis and Belts kind of fought for the football. Belts will get about a yard, and Swanton will use one of their timeouts, so we'll take one too. 2:39 to play, first half. Bears down 21-7 here on BryanSports.com. Golden Bear Stadium, Bears down by 2 touchdowns, facing a 3rd down and 11. Swanton figuring their defense is good enough to be able to get that football back, and their offense has already shown this year that they can put points on the scoreboard quickly. We saw it tonight in their opening drive where they went
2 plays, 42 yards.
Yep. Boom, boom, and they were in the end zone. So Bears will have a single back. That's Damon Belts in the backfield with Novus. Trips to the top, single to the bottom. See if they can convert this 3rd down. Ball across the middle, and it is caught, and it will be ahead for a first down. Jake House with the catch, and House fights his way for the first down out to the 47-yard line. It'll be first down at 10. They need 11, and they got about 11 and a half. Gilsdorf with the tackle, but the Bears pick up the first down, and that was a really nice, oh, they don't even have to eyeball this one. Ball sitting with the nose of the ball in the 42, stick sitting a foot in front of the 42, and here comes the chains in, Chris. How many times have you asked for a measurement and you haven't gotten one? Here's one where the ball's a good, unless they run this one out kind of crooked, that ball is a good ball length or more. Oh, look how close that is. First down Bears, but it's by about an inch, so I don't know what, maybe the yard markers don't line up exactly on one side to the other, obviously, because, boy, that didn't look like it was even going to be close when they brought it out on the field. Good news for the Bears fans is it is Golden Bear football, first down at 10 on the Golden Bear 47. Novus comes back after talking to the coach. He has 2.5 minutes to play and 1 timeout if he needs it. Peters will go to the top with Jones and also a 3rd receiver. I can't really see his number, but looking was going to say that. Colt Arthur. And here comes the heavy rush, and Nobis is not going to be able to get that ball away. And again, Reisner, the young man that made the tackle, but they got there almost before Nobis got set up that time again, Chris. It just was a total jailbreak in the middle of that offensive line, and the loss will be almost 10.
Saying 7 right now. We'll give them 7.
Second down at 17. Yes, sir.
With all the negative plays, Bryan only has 37 total yards.
Oh, my goodness.
When you count all the negatives in.
Yeah, well, and there's been a bunch of them. He's been sacked several times. This ball on the to Colt Arthur is tipped up in the air and intercepted by Johnson, and he's up the sideline. 15-10. He'll be tackled at about the 8-yard line. Arthur was diving for the football, got both hands on it, but all he did was tip the ball right up in the air. Johnson happened to be standing there, and it was one of those, look what I just found, and then he had a couple of blockers in front of him, and he headed up that right sideline. Looked like he was going to score it. Bears able to get back and make the tackle, but the first down will be spotted at the 8-yard line, and the Swanton Bulldogs, again, in business with 1 timeout, 1st and goal at the 8th. And again, the young teams have those kind of things happen to them. And you can see this pass on a Saturday night. There's Arthur, gets both hands on the ball, and he just bounces it right up in the air. And Johnson, who really was just looking to try to make a tackle, just had the football bounce right into his hands. McComb breaks loose, reverses his field, heading towards the top of the stadium. And this time he's going to run out of room and be tackled back outside the 10 at about the 13-yard line. McComb went to the left side, looked like he was going to run around that left corner, did that spin move down here close to the sideline, headed to the top of the screen. Bears with some good containment on the top, did not get out of their lanes, and the loss will be about 6. In fact, 5, because he's back at the 13, so it'll be 2nd down and goal now. And you have to credit the Bears for being able to stay in their lanes and not give McComb anywhere to go, because that young guy can get out and get there in a hurry. Running backs on both sides. McComb will roll to the home side and throw the ball into the end zone. He's got his big guy down in the end zone. That's Gunnar Oakes. And Oakes goes up and pulls it down for the touchdown. Culler was the young man on the coverage, but he let Oakes get a step on him. And McComb put the ball exactly where it needed to be, right in front of Gunnar Oakes. And Oakes went up, pulled it down, got his feet down, and scored the touchdown with 31 seconds left to go in the opening half.
Wow. 11-yard touchdown pass.
Nick Koback on for the extra point. Again, those are the kind of mistakes that the Bears have had all year long, those breaks that just don't go our way as Koback drills the extra point to make it 28-7. 31 seconds left to go here in the first half. We'll take a timeout here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris, Friday night. And don't forget, too, if you're out there listening, that the ball games replayed, home games replayed right after the game at 11 o'clock here on Bryan's Channel 3. And then again at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Channel 3 if you've got Bryan City Cable. And if you're out there listening here to the stream tonight live, great to have you with us. 31 seconds. The Bears are trying to put up a fight here tonight against a very good Swanton football team. And this one will be a little bouncer, and it'll be picked up at the 37-yard line. Bears to the 42. That was Josh Jones. And a kind of a hard hopper right to the numbers, and Josh fielded it like a shortstop and just moved it forward to the 41-yard line. It'll be Bears ball with 25 seconds and one timeout. And again, as we said, Swanton will get the football to open up the third quarter. So what do you got to lose right now, huh? Try to find something. Tough break there for the Bears. They get the big kick return by Shanks, and then the look what I found interception by Noah Johnston that they return inside the 10-yard line. Yep. Instead of being a 14-7 ball game, all of a sudden the Bears find themselves down by 21. They're going to run this one out as Novus will call his own number and go forward, and that should do it for the first half. 12 seconds to go in the quarter and the half, and the Bears will be happy to head this one into the locker room to talk about a few things. Down to 5, and that'll do it for the quarter. We're at the half here at Golden Bear Stadium, and the Golden Bears down 21 points, 28-7 here on BryanSports.com.
Halftime at Golden Bear Stadium, 27-7. Swanton leads over Bryan here on the Golden Bear Sports Network, BMU TV, and BryanSports.com. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg along here with you, and not a good start for the Golden Bears, but special teams, a killer, and an interception, the killer as well. Taking a look at some statistics as we look at the total statistics. First downs, Bryan has 5, 2 by the pass, or 2 by the rush, 2 by the pass, 1 by the penalty. Swanton with 2 first downs, both of those by the pass. Rushing, Bryan has 18 yards rushing on 20 attempts. Their longest rush was just 9 yards. Swanton, meanwhile, is 12 attempts for 71 yards. And their longest rush was 40 yards. Johnston with a 40-yard touchdown. Passing, Zach Novus is 6 for 8 for 20 yards and 1 interception. The interception did lead to a touchdown. On the other side of things, Bryce McComb is a perfect 4 of 4 for 49 yards and a touchdown. Taking a look at total offensive plays, the Bears ran 27 offensive plays for 38 yards. Swanton ran 16 plays for 120 yards. Time of possession, I've got an error there because it says it's equal, and that can't possibly be the case.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So we'll have to add up that time of possession. Bryan is 2 of 5 on third downs for 40%. Swanton is 1 of 2 on third downs for 50%. Swanton has completed a 4th down conversion as well. Bryan is perfect in the end zone, or in the red zone. They're 1 of 1. Actually, we call them 2 of 1 because they made an extra field goal and a touchdown.
There you go. We're good.
But only one of them counted. 2 of 2 for Swanton, also 100%. Bryan was penalized 2 times for 20 yards. Swanton penalized 4 times for 25 yards. Let's take a look at some of the individual statistics.
And one quick question, clarification for you, because I got it from their coach came over. and he said that Noah Johnson is no longer Noah Johnson. That's Tim Rankin.
Okay.
Number 5. I didn't get whether Noah Johnson went into witness protection or what might have happened there at that point in time. He walked away too quick, but even though in the program it's listed number 5 as Noah Johnson, that is actually Tim Rankin. So we've been
Rankin?
Rankin, Rankin.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I would apologize to the Rankin family out there, but in the program, number 5 is Noah Johnson, and the coach, that's how he described it. I just want to tell you guys, number 5 is Noah Johnson is not Noah Johnson. That's Tim Rankin. So that's the description I got. How's
All
that?
right. Well, we're making the changes now, so I appreciate that. It was interesting game going on so far. Let's see. Bryan got the ball first. They ran 6 plays, 12 yards. They had a bad snap on that first punt all the way to the 10.
Yes.
And Jones punted and had a 1-yard net punt, basically, when you looked at things. And that drive took 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Swanton got the ball after that on the Bryan 42. They went 2 plays, 42 yards, and Rankin had a 40-yard touchdown run. Yep. The PAT by Kovac made it good to make it 7-0. On the ensuing drive, Bryan got the ball. They went 6 plays for 16 yards. And ended up punting it after 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Swanton got the ball back, and they got it on their own 32, and they mounted a drive, 12 plays, 68 yards in 6 minutes, 40 seconds, and Rankin another 4-yard touchdown run. Kovac's PAT made it 14-0. Bears got it back. Actually, let me interject there. I messed that up. When Bryan punted, Swanton fumbled the fair catch. Right, and then they got the ball, and Bryan went 3 plays, minus 8 yards, had to punt again at 2:07, and then Swanton had their touchdown. Then Bryan got the ball back. They marched down. They got it on the 21-yard line. 349, or excuse me, 401, 7 plays, 21 yards. This was the weird one. They had the touchdown, the field goal, and then on the field goal there was a roughing the kicker, so they scored the touchdown. It was Bells with the 14-yard touchdown return. The Jones PAT was good. So those were both there. And then Swanton got the ball back, and on a 95-yard kickoff return was Shanks, and the PAT was good to make it 21-7. So they got a touchdown scored on a kickoff return right after we scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
So the deflating.
What a killer that one was right there.
Yep. Bryan got the ball back, and they were driving. They went 4 plays, 3 yards. They had started their drive. And then there was a pass that went to Colt Arthur. He was trying to wheel it in, and it tipped off his fingertips. It was intercepted. It was returned to the 8. I'm not sure who did the returning to the 8.
That was our buddy Tim Rankin there,
okay.
a.k.a. Noah Johnson. How's that?
Rankin returned it to the 8, and then Swanton from the 8 took just 2 plays to go those 8 yards, and it was a Macomb to Rankin touchdown pass for 13 yards, and that made it 28-7. So there you go. Taking a look at the individual statistics, Bryan Bells has 11 carries for 11 yards. Nobis 6 carries for -6. Lockoff 2 carries for 8. Jones 1 carry for 5. Nobis is 6 at 8 with an interception, and his longest throw was 11, total 20 yards. Receiving, Lockoff, the long receiver, was 17 yards. Hausch 1 reception for 11 yards. And there you have it. There's the statistics for Bryan. Swanton's end longest run is Lonchak, 16 yards total rushing. Rankin had 52 yards total rushing. Lankowitz 16 yards, and then 4 for 4 for Macomb. His favorite target has been Oakes for 29 yards. Shanks also had a 20-yard pass.
Been a very impressive first half there for the young men from Swanton. Tell you what, why don't we go down to Chris Bryce right now, see if Chris has some updates for us from around the area with some scores. Christopher, you've been working hard the first half. Are you earning your paycheck tonight, fella?
I think I am, Jim. Let's see what we got here. We got Patrick Henry over Delta at the half, 8-7.
Oh wow, PH over Delta, 8-7 at the half. That's interesting.
Looks like Wasion's beating Archbold 7-0.
Oh goodness, man.
And that's also at the half. It's Liberty Center over Evergreen 21-13, and I think that's somewhere in the second quarter. Defiance over Salina 42-6 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. The last score I had on Napoleon, it was Napoleon and Northview 0-0 in the second. And Ayersville over Wayne Trace 20-14. That's also in the second quarter. It's Montpelier beating Toledo Christian 21-14. That's at the half. And Tenor over Edgerton 26-7, and that's also in the second quarter. That's all I got for you now, Jim.
Sounds good. With that, we'll head it down to the field. The Bryan Marching Band about ready to perform their halftime show here at Bryan Golden Bear Stadium. The Bears down 28-7 here on BryanSports.com.
Those folks in the yellow shirts joining us on the field tonight are the 26 members of the 8th grade band. They are here tonight to perform a chart by one of Indiana's favorite sons. Over his career, he's amassed 22 top 40 hits, 13 Grammy Awards, and sold over 40 million albums. Here they are making their Friday night debut with John Cougar Mellencamp's hit, R.O.C.K. in the USA. Ladies and gentlemen, the 8th grade band. Our closer is a joint number between the Bryan High School Marching Band and the 8th grade band. It is a piece by a group that has been described as the grandfathers of folk punk. They began their career in 1981 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This song is heavily based on a song played by Muddy Waters and written by Willie Dixon. It has been covered and used in movies, television shows, and video games. From 1983, here is the Bryan High School Marching Band and the 8th grade marching band performing Gone, Daddy Gone by the Violent Femmes. The Bryan High School Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Richard Will. Staff assistants are Ben Camarillo and Larry Schaefer, with Senior Field Commander Mackenzie Siller and Junior Field Commander Chalabal. The marching band would like to compliment the Swanton Marching Band on their performance this evening. They thank everyone for their applause, wish you a safe drive home, a great weekend, good night, and go Bears!
Back out at Golden Bears Stadium, 28-7. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg here on the Golden Bears game night for Friday, and Jim is joining us, putting the headset on.
Ho.
He's back. So the Bears coming out. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was over talking to one of the guys from Swanton's dad, the Shanks kid that ran that kickoff back, and he came through and told us about that right before he went down. It's I'll tell you what, it's the fun part about this game on the high school side that I've always liked is that we're enemies, basically, okay?
Yep.
I mean, we want to beat them, they want to beat us, but at the same time, these are high school kids out here. There's a lot more to this game than whether you win or whether you lose, And what I've always enjoyed about it is once the game's over, I know so many people that take this game and they take it to heart, and man, they're growling and grumbling. But as the older I get and the dumber I get, or my eyesight goes and everything else, the more that I enjoy the competition. And sure, we're down 28-7 right now, but we have beaten Swanton for I don't know how many years. That was one thing that I did not look, and
I barely remember. I've been doing games since 2005.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I guess it was the fall of 2006 was my first, because I started in the spring or the winter of 2005. I don't remember us losing them in that time.
I don't either.
So I mean, I'm sure we can find some statistics on it.
If we go back, I'm sure there was a night. This is our 15th year doing this thing, okay? So I'm sure in 15 years there has been a loss or two in that point. But, again, you go all the way back 20 years since they won the NWOAL, okay? So it's been a while since they've had this kind of a football team. And for me, it's really fun to watch the game watch the athletes, watch a guy like Gunnar Oakes, who is legitimately a very solid football player. Had that one muff there, the punt, and that led to our touchdown. And then also, watch some of the young guys like Jonathan Shanks, who's a junior, be able to take that ball back, break a tackle or two, and go 95 yards. And his dad said, that he got it all on tape too. So many of those times when you get in a situation like that, you forget to hit the record button, or you're rooting so hard that you forget to follow the guy running down the field or whatever. But he's got it all on tape, and he's got it preserved for posterity now. And for our guys, hey, our guys are young. Our guys are going to get better. You can see a lot of them learning week to week. For a Zach Nobis to be able to get in and play a lot of quarterback nowadays this year, and he's been in every game so far, and to make his mistakes and to learn what he's doing. For a Damon Bells who's still a junior, but still first time being the running back in this football team, and to have to get out there and make his plays and make some things happen. The coach and I talked about last week's game where we had that fumble there in the first half that led to the touchdown, and I wanted to know, did the running back go the wrong way, or did the quarterback turn the wrong way? Well, the quarterback turned the wrong way. The running back went the wrong way. Or the quarterback turned the right way. The running back went the wrong way. And those are all things that young guys do, and mistakes that you correct, and mistakes that once you do correct, you start to score. And when you start to score, you start to win football games. And when you start to win, it becomes contagious. And the next thing you know, I think in a couple more years, this is going to be a football team that's going to be right in the middle of everything in the NWOL again. But we've got a year or two of rebuilding and rethinking.
Yep, and the nice part about it is Coach understands that, and he's
He
willing
does.
to work with the guys and go from there. Jim, I was just told a minute ago in my ear that Swanton before last year had 19 straight losing seasons. So
Wow.
they won the championship and then ripped off 19 straight losing seasons, and then,
Well, how much can you say Mike Vickers and Tim Spears, Spies has done to help this program?
But
in the last
you're
year
right.
and a half.
I mean, they have said constantly as we've been over there that this is going to be the team. And you're right.
Yeah.
They didn't play them a lot as freshmen.
They kept them all together on that freshman team.
Absolutely.
They didn't break them apart. They didn't want to get into that losing habit, is what they told us back in that time. So here we go. The Bears will have to kick off here to start the third quarter, and big number 11 is going to stand back there at the. No, in fact, you know what? He's a tall guy, but he's not. It's not 11 back there. It's going to be
22.
22 Gilsdorf in the center. Gilsdorf is 5'9", and he's a senior. And then we've got our buddy Tim Rankin, number 5, up on the Swanton side. And the Bears are going to kick this one again a little bit short and try to get it. They're going to knock it into the corner, and the Bears are going to follow on it. They're going to recover this one down at the 38-yard line. I'll tell you what, they tried to cheat up. Jonathan Shanks, the young man that ran that back, had Robbie Gilsdorf shoving him and pushing him and trying to get him into that area, and Josh Jones kicked it perfectly into the dead spot down there around the 37, 38-yard line, and the Bears were able to get down and fall on it, and it will be Golden Bears football to open up this third quarter. Nice job by the Golden Bears. So the Bears offense now comes out on the field instead of the defense.
Yep.
And they'll go back in that offset eye look with the pistol formation for Zach Nobis. Bell's right behind him. And they'll turn and hand to Lockhoff, who was on that left wing, and Lockhoff will get just short yardage as he goes off right guard for maybe a foot or two. Rankin makes the tackle.
Lockhoff had 2 carries for 8 yards in the first half.
So Lockhoff on that first down carry basically gets back to the line of scrimmage, and the Bears, after that onside kick, or that pooch kick, I guess you would call it, or placement kick, have the ball second down and 10. Just underway, third quarter. Swanton sub comes dashing in from the sideline. And now everybody's ready to play some football. Offset eye again as Nobis drops and he throws it into the flat. Caught by Lockhoff to the 30. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. And that's about 8 yards, and it'll set up third down now and short. Shanks makes the tackle for Swanton, but not before Drew Lockhoff gets 8. And the Bears obviously right now down 28-7, are in 2-down territory for the rest of the night, I would think, Chris. Straight I formation now. Nobis goes under center. Lock off in the middle, and they'll dive straight up the center, and he gets the wheels knocked out from underneath of him right at the line of scrimmage. He might fall ahead for a foot or so, but it's going to still be 4th down and about 2. Ball at the 29. They need to get down to just about the 27. 4th down and a couple. And boy, it would be a real shame to waste this opportunity here to open up this third quarter.
Too long of a thing to kick a field goal.
There's big Chris. We just saw Chris Bryce's smiling face down there in the booth. I think he was down there doing either some aerobics or maybe some stretching. Turn, belts, dive, short, I believe. Belts did his best to try to stretch that ball as close to that first down marker as he get to it, but again, some good penetration by the Swanton front. Was able to take his legs out from underneath of him. In fact, they're going to give him just inches on that run. So it'll end up being 1st and 10 for Swanton here as Damon Bells only gets about a yard. 1st down and 10, ball at the 29-yard line for the Swanton offense. McComb again, the quarterback, and he'll come out and line it up under center.
You believe this is only their 4th drive?
Yeah, you can believe that. They've done it pretty well. Rankin with the football, and he'll go off left tackle for a couple. 32-yard line, 33-yard line. Hausch with the tackle for the Bears. Rankin gets about 4 on that carry. 9:49, the clock is moving here at Golden Bear Stadium. And you can see, if you're watching at home, the student section here in Bryan. And I'll tell you what, they have been very active again tonight. Handoff goes on the right sweep, and this one again goes to Rankin, and Rankin will just get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe get about a foot or so, give him a yard to the 35-yard line. And it'll set up 3rd down now and about 5 for the Swanton Bulldogs. Justin Tempe checks out. And now Rankin goes to the sideline along with the big tight end, Sienkiewicz. Doubles on the top, doubles on the bottom, single running back in the backfield. McComb drops back. He's got some heat coming. That's Farrell. Farrell's not going to let him go. He'll eventually throw the ball and it completed.
Wow.
Missed tackle will send the Bulldogs up the football field at the 30 to the 28-yard line, and that's Oakes that made the tackle or the catch, and he gets it all the way down into the Golden Bear 27-yard line.
Pickup. Who had that reception?
That was Gunnar Oakes.
Wow.
Farrell had looked like he had McComb locked up in the backfield. McComb was able to spin away, and at the very last second, throw the ball to Oakes, who was coming back to his quarterback. He caught it for enough for the first down, then broke a tackle, scooted up that left sideline, and it will be 1st down and 10 now for the Swanton Bulldogs.
He's now 6 of 6.
Handoff goes to the 23, Michael Lonazak.
Got some laundry on the field.
Lonzak gets a couple. And
I think it's going to be on Swanton.
Chop block.
The Golden Bears, number 55.
Chop block goes against Swanton. For the Bears here, they open up on the defense with Hall, Taylor, and Riddle on the defensive line.
Waste, number 58, 15-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Farrell, Wagner, Oliphant, and Lockoff are your linebackers. Garza, Hausch, Kuba, and Culler are the defensive backs.
15-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Swan has number 10, Derek Mesereau, in the ball game as well. He's in the slot here on the home side. McComb will roll towards the home side and look to throw the ball down the field, and he will throw it a little bit too high for Robbie Gilsdorf. Gilsdorf had found a spot in the seam down around the 25-yard line, but that ball well over his head and out of bounds.
That's the first incomplete pass. He went 5 for 5
Wow.
for 62 yards in the first half.
Well, you can understand why Coach was talking about this young guy having the best footwork of anybody he's seen in the conference right now on the video that he's watching. Definitely of anybody that we have seen so far.
Absolutely.
And very polished quarterback, isn't he, Chris?
He is. He has patience when the defender's bearing down on him. He doesn't just chuck it away. He tries to make plays happen with his feet and with his arm. And I think we're going to get a...
Looks like they've got 13, if I'm counting it right out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Swanton people?
Yeah. It's a lucky number for some people, but it's a Friday night, so it's not real lucky. Maybe it was only 12.
Legal substitution.
Jonathan
On the
Shanks
offense,
was the young guy that
5-yard
steps off
penalty,
to the sideline
Second
now.
down.
But they broke the huddle with 12, I guess. They broke the huddle with 12 guys on the field, and the delay of game now makes it second down and a whole bunch, about 27.
That's a 5-yard penalty, right, he said?
5-yard penalty brings the ball to the 45. You're right.
Just want to make sure. I'm trying to keep it all tonight. I feel like I got it all tonight.
Man, that software, you're going to be a software guy here
I'm
before
going
we know it.
to sell this.
Taylor puts the heat on McComb, and he'll eventually get a block in the back, I believe, by Swanton. McComb is still on his feet. He went to the right sideline. Now he cuts it to the left sideline, and he's heading for the house.
There's a light-up block, too. There's a Bryan kid on the field. Number 11, Gunnar Oakes just laid out the Bryan defender.
And I believe that might be Josh
goodness.
Jones, but it's all going to come back because there was a block in the back here in the backfield, I believe, that's going to bring this whole thing home.
Man, he just laid him out.
Maybe
Wow.
we can see this play. Here you go again. Watch up here, 64, Chance Taylor. He gets hit in the back there. He gets bumped there, and then they bounce around a couple more times.
I don't think you'll be able to see the block. I don't think you'll be able to see the block. Oh, maybe. It's coming across the field.
Coming right across the middle of the field here. Let's see if we can see it. Here he comes up. I bet it's this one right here, isn't it? Boom, there's the hit.
They picked the flag up.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's clear as day on replay. He got blocked in the back. Clear as day. How did they pick that up?
I don't know, but that was Corbin Garza that was the young man
that
got nailed.
Totally.
And the touchdown will make it 34-7. But, yeah, there's no doubt that Chance Taylor got drilled in the back. He's sitting here talking. Coach is out there talking to him. But if you watch the
replay, it's clear as a bell. Taylor, it isn't even close.
It was the first block, actually. He threw the flag late.
Yeah, but the first block was completely in the back.
But the first block was the one that actually got
You can see it on – we're going to run it up again completely.
Now watch here. Here comes the one to the back. Boom.
Block in the back.
Okay. Now the second one, and now
the second one sort of.
The
first one was definitely a block. That's a cheap penalty.
Third one is where the penalty flag was actually thrown. And either way, a beautiful run by McComb to come back down on the sideline like that and then cut. He can move laterally better than almost anybody I've seen in this league for a while. 6 foot, 170 pound senior.
Where did they even snap that from?
It would have been clear back here at about the 45. It was probably about a 55-yard run. Extra points good. It's 35-7 now with 8:03 to play here in the third quarter.
Wow.
As we can take a timeout on BryanSports.com.
Back here at Golden Bear Stadium as Keller will backpedal and catch this one 5 yards into the end zone. It'll come back out to 20. I'll tell you what, Bryce McComb, a very special young guy.
He's a good runner.
He took advantage of that first block, and then he was able to basically come down the right sideline, make a couple guys miss, use a couple of really good blocks, cut totally across the field to the other sideline, and then up the Swanton sideline for the touchdown. So a nice run by McComb, who probably went 55 if you'd gone in a straight line, and probably about 120 if you take the route that he took. So, took that scenic route to the end zone, I think you'd call that one.
Yeah.
I formation for the Bears, and they'll hand off the football to Damon Belts, and Belts will have some room as he's across the 20, and he'll get out to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. Rankin makes the tackle, and again with this football team from Swanton, an awful lot of these young guys go both ways. 35-7 now with 7:42 to play in the third quarter. Another touchdown, and we run the clock continuously from that point on. Once you get to that 35-point bulge, and again, that's something that Bears fans not really accustomed to happening to them here in the last few years, but with the rebuild that we're going through this year. We're going to see that every now and then. Novus looking to run. Now he's going to run out of time, trying to get away from a couple of Swanton Bulldogs, and they're just too darn many of them. They'll drop him back inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. Give that one to, I think, Owen Dodd, 88, was the first guy there, but he had a lot of help in that backfield as well. In fact, 32, I think, back there, Zach Leahy as well. And now the ball at the 14-yard line, and the Bears look at a 3rd and 17. 6:45 to play third quarter. Again, I formation with Novus right under center. He's got 2 wide receivers to the top. Single right in front of us down here, and that's Peters. Fumbles the snap, hands the football to Lockoff, who has some room off of left guard, and he'll be close to the 24-yard line, or the 19-yard line, I'm sorry. Shanks will make the tackle, so he'll get about 2. That'll set up 3rd down and 12, and the ball's about ready to go back.
Who had that last one? I'm sorry.
That was Lockoff for 2.
Okay. Thanks.
Gilsdorf and Oakes, the 2 big guys back here waiting for this punt. This one is going to go towards Gilsdorf inside the 50 at the 45. Now running forward to the 40 and the 39 is where the Bears will knock him down, and so Gilsdorf will get about 10 on the return. Kuba will make the tackle for the Bears, and with 5:54 to go here in the third quarter, Swanton has the football back for the second time here in this third period. And I would have to believe that this Bears defense probably getting a little bit tired.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at the fact that a lot of these guys tonight going both ways and really have not had many times to come over and even grab a drink of water. Handoff goes to Gilsdorf. He'll sweep left end. Bears able to scoop him up and throw him down, but not until he gets a couple of yards. That's Hash with the tackle. And House with the tackle and the throw will give the runner about 4. You're right, Chris, down to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 6, 5:32 to go in third quarter. McComb went sideline that time to talk, and now he's back out in the huddle. And they'll give you that wing T look again with the 2 running backs in the backfield and the 1 wing back to the left side. They'll turn and hand off to Lonzak. Lonzak gets about 3 more down inside the 35 down to about the 33. Brand Hall makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd down now at about 4. So if we can keep them to just 3-yard chunks, Chris, we might be able to keep this thing close.
Yep.
Oakes runs to the sideline along with their big tight end, Sienkiewicz. And now they go with that straight T look. They've got 3 running backs in the backfield and the quarterback under center. He'll turn, hand off to Lonazak, and Lonazak will be close to that 1st down. But I believe the Bears have stopped him right at the 30, and he needed to get close to the 29. So 4th down now and about a yard for the Swanton Bulldogs. Obviously, they're not going to come off. Robert Kimball checking in for the Golden Bears.
Good to see Bobby getting some action.
Putting a little more beef on that front line. Again, that T look, and McComb's going to sneak this one, and he'll have the 1st down. I'll tell you what, the 2 quarterback sneaks that they have run here tonight have gone for about 4 yards both times, and it's just credit to that front line to be able to fire off and give him plenty of room because he just follows in behind them. And Yanni, Nowakowski, Seago, Jones, and Zingalewski basically fired off that football, and before McComb even sees a purple shirt, he's 2-3 yards down the field. Triples come our side this time. Single receiver to the top, single running back in the backfield. Little flanker screen pass comes out to Gilsdorf, and Gilsdorf will cut it up the field to the 20. Be knocked down at about the 19. Kuba on the tackle for the Bears, and Sam Culler. He's going to get about 7. 3:19, clock is rolling. 35-7 if you just checked in with us here on BryanSports.com. Bears go on the road next week. They'll go to Wauseon. That'll be another tough one. Swanton put trips to the tops. Oaks, the front point guy in the diamond, and they'll look to throw it to Oaks. Down to the flat at the 15. He breaks a tackle, then he gets wrapped up at the 12 and dropped at the 11. Oaks was the point guy in the diamond. And he just took his time to get out, let the other two guys clear everything off, and then set a block for him. And the Bears were able to fight through those blocks to keep him to a short gain, but it's enough for the first down.
6 first down for the Swanton Bulldogs.
Tough night here for the Bears. Trips again to the home side. Single receiver to the top, single running back in the backfield. McComb will look to throw quickly across the middle.
Dropped it.
Right into the hands of Jonathan Shanks, who dropped it at the 5-yard line. Ball thrown just a little behind him, and Shanks in traffic took his eye off of it for just a second. Couldn't pull it back in, so the clock will stop with 2:33 to play in the third quarter. Second down and 10. Gilsdorf in. Lonizak goes to the sideline. Doubles on the top. They'll hand it to the running back, and he'll go right side. That's Rankin, and Rankin is still on his feet inside the 5. It's being dragged by his wide receiver, which is not quite the way that it's supposed to be done, but he'll go down to about the 1. Official right down there saw it. Bears able to stop him short of the goal line.
Is he all the way to the 1?
Got all the way to the 1. Was wrapped up at about the 3. Had a little bit of help from somebody who just absolutely came in, grabbed him, and pulled him forward. The ball will be right at the 1. It'll be first down and goal for the Swanton Bulldogs, as they look to extend this 35-7 lead with just over 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. T-look again. McComb under center. He'll turn to Lonizak, and he'll be in for the touchdown. Make it 41-7 as Michael Lonizak goes in from the 1. And the extra point will cause the clock to spin for the rest of the way. Kobach has been perfect so far tonight. Big leg on the kickoff, and done a nice job with the extra point duties. And I was impressed with the way that Josh Jones kicked that big field goal for us early in that first half, too,
Yep.
Chris. We took it off the scoreboard, but you know what? Before everything gets going, the ball was actually snapped, but the flags hit the ground before the snap got back to the holder. Offsides, Bears declined. I think the Bears looking for that little extra step to get in there and knock that ball down, and jumped just a little bit too early. 41-7. Snap's good, placement good, kick good, and it's 42-7 now. 2:04 to go, third quarter. Bears trail 42-7 here on BryanSports.com.
Back out at Golden Bear Stadium, it's now 42-7, which means this game gets a little bit quicker.
No doubt about that.
Hey, Jim, it's going to be really weird next week going to Wauseon without Rich Batdorf being there.
It
Big
will be.
MTV, who passed away over the summer, just kind of weird. He always had our starting lineups for us, always hospitality. If we forgot a piece of gear, he would always
Rich was always
get it for us. And
1 in a million. There's no doubt about that. It's not going to be the same being over there without Rich. And no matter who takes over for him, and I'm sure they'll find a very capable replacement, you don't replace a guy like Rich.
Nope.
He just 1 in a million right there, and it is going to be strange to get over there and see that. Kickoff goes deep in the end zone. Bears will have the ball on the 20. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Bryan Athletic Boosters, the Bryan Strong Club, you can actually get up on the internet and visit the varsityclubvip.com. That's varsityclubvip.com. Click on the Bryan Strong logo banner, and you can make a purchase. All you have to do is make a purchase of a T-shirt or a shirt or a sweatshirt, whatever you might want, and you will be a member of the Bryan Strong, the Athletic Boosters Club. Speaking of that, the reverse raffle is tomorrow night. I believe that all the tickets are sold. They were down to just a couple the last time I checked, but that should be a big night and a fun time here tomorrow night. Shotgun, and Nobis is out in the flats, and he's running up the sideline. 30, 35, 40, 45, closing in on midfield.
Oh, and a late hit out of
out.
bounds. Come on, man.
Zach Nobis had a lot of pressure in the backfield, was able to step away from the rush, and then find his way to the sideline, which became his friend. He scampered up to the 49-yard line.
Wow.
So that's a 29 run
pickup
for Zach Nobis. And with that, it'll be first down and 10 for the Bears. 30 points is the magic number here in this whole equation. Yep. So if the Bears do score, the clock slows down again.
It's 35. 35 points is the magic number. Yep.
3 guys to the top of the screen.
High snap.
Toss up to Belts of the screen, and Damon will get across the 50-yard line, and he'll be inside the 47-yard line. And that could very easily be the last play here of this third quarter, as Damon Belts will get 4 yards on that screen pass. And the clock rolling down under 10 seconds right now, so by the time Nobis gets to the huddle, we'll be under 5, and that's going to do it for the third quarter.
By the way, Jim, Public Power Week is happening that week of October 8th. Thursday night there is going to be an open house at BMU at our electric facilities, 841 East Edgerton Street. Line worker demonstrations, fun activities for the kids, free hot dogs and refreshments, and it's all in celebration of Public Power Week. So get out there on Thursday, October 8th at 3:30 to 6 o'clock, and make sure you check out cityofbryan.net for details.
12 more minutes of football to be played. Why don't we get Chris Bryce on the other end of our connection here and see whether that young fella's got some scores for us. Christopher, what's going on around the area tonight, man?
Well, looks like we got PH over Delta 14-7. That's in the third. It's
wow.
Wauseon and Archibald are tied 7-7.
Wauseon and Archibald tied at 7-7. Is that what you just told me?
That's what I just told you, Jim.
Holy smokes. Okay.
It's Liberty Center over Evergreen 28-13. That's in the third.
Wow.
It's Salina over Salina over Defiance 42-6. Napoleon Northwood still 7-0 at the half. That's all I have on that one. Wayne Trace over Ayersville 28-20. That's in the third. And it looks like Tenor over Edgerton 33-7, and that's in the third. That's all I got.
Well, I'll tell you what. The one thing that they've all talked about this year is the parity in the NWAL. I've heard so many people tell me that there's not a huge, there's nobody out there that's really going to run away from anybody, as Peters now tries to run that left end. He made the first guy miss. That was Leahy, and then was tripped up as he crossed the 45-yard line, and they'll knock him down and mark him right there at the 45-yard line of Swanton. It'll be third down and 5. So
that's his first carry tonight.
Yeah, and again, you look at that. There you've got a young guy there's Chet there up on the screen. If you're watching this here after the ball game and catching the video, Chet's been out trying to rev the crowd up as always, and Chet will go with us here next week to Wauseon. Again, jet sweep. This is Josh Jones coming home side, and Jones will stretch out and be close. I think he's got the first down.
Yep.
Right around the 41-yard line. Gilsdorf is the young guy that made the tackle there. Again, a big thank you to all our sponsors tonight. Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Ford Lincoln, Bryan Municipal Utilities, Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center, Krill Funeral Home, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, the Plaza Motel, Tompkinson BMW, and Whelan's Automotive. Don't forget, if you're looking for an automobile out there, a couple of guys on that list. I mean, Bryan Ford has some 0% for 72 months that'll run out on the 30th. And if you're looking for that ultimate driving machine and drive like that Chris Malinga guy.
Yeah, right.
Tompkinson BMW over in Fort Wayne.
I got a penalty flag down.
Flag on the field, ball knocked down as the throw was trying to be completed in the middle of that field.
I think it'll be a false start on Bryan. But we'll see how it goes.
Procedure call, you're right.
On the offense, penalty is declined. Second down.
They'll take the play
decline.
instead because it was an incompleted pass, and it'll set up a 2nd down and 10 now, and the clock again still moving. 9:52 and counting. Coach Redhead out talking to the official, trying to get an explanation on what caused that procedure call. And the longer he chats, the more that clock rolls. The game clock still dead locked up at 25 seconds, but the game clock, or the play clock at 25 seconds, but the game clock now down to 9:25 as Nobis again heads to the huddle, and Coach Still discussing in
An animated way.
yeah. Peters will go in motion, doubles to the top. Nobis looks
Peters
to throw
got
in the
hit.
middle, and that's a pickoff. Swanton at the 50. That's Oaks. 40. And still on his feet as he fights his way inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line and then out of bounds.
Nova's pass was intercepted by number 11,
Gunnar
Gunnar
Oaks
Oaks.
basically saw that one coming the entire way and
Stopped
just
by number 21,
kinda
Jacob
hung out in the
House.
middle of that field. And as that ball was thrown,
It'll
he
be Swanton's ball, 1st and 10
stepped his big body in front of that
at
football and
the Bryan 25-yard line.
ran it down to the 25-yard line of the Golden Bears, and the clock will stop for just a second while the chains move and the teams get set, and then it is restarted with 8:46 to play. First team still on the field. Nope, we got a backup quarterback right now. We'll start to find some new guys. That's Merrick Speece, number 7. And it'll be a time now where we'll start to get some new numbers, I'm sure. Timeout called with 8:37 to play. And why don't we send this to a commercial break? Bears down 42-7 here on BryanSports.com. Back here, Golden Bear Stadium, as we're trying to get some numbers here for the backups and the new guys that are on the field. In fact, I think 32 is Leahy, the other running back in the backfield. They'll hand the ball to 23 Lanazek, and he'll be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage for really no gain. And a nice job there by Peters, who comes up from a linebacker spot and makes that tackle. And I would believe, Chris, you made the comment, they'll give him about a yard, but I would expect that with Swanton now 42-7 lead, they're probably as anxious to get this thing clicked off as we are.
Although they're really coming up to line very quickly.
Justin Timpey, 37 in that backfield. Dive play to the center of the line.
I think that might be Gilsdorf. Nope.
And Lanazak, 23 again. They also have 25 in there, Jordan Nyler. So some new numbers and new faces, and as we said, the new quarterback is Merrick Speece. Speece is a sophomore, 6'1", $185, so a good size young guy waiting the wings for his turn now. Number 12, the wide receiver, Derek Mesereau. I don't think they're going to throw the ball much. Tipke with the sweep around the right end, and Tempe will get close to the first down, but it'd be about a yard short. Down at the 17-yard line, Culler makes the tackle for the Bears. 4th down, and make it a short 2 here for Swanton as we go into the 7-minute mark here of this football game.
Oh, they're kicking a field goal.
And they're going to try to kick a field goal. Yeah, this will be an interesting one. 23-yard line, so make it a 33-yarder from the right hash mark.
Koback again?
Koback is the kicker. He, with the leg that he's had, man, I don't think this is going to be much of a challenge. Both these teams are good kickers. Looked like the Bears jumped off sides, but the snap is good, the placement is good, and the kick went through and ended 15 yards on the other side of that upright. So they score now 45-7 with 6:25 to play in this football game. And I'll tell you what, the Bears now just trying to play for pride and play their way out of this football game. 6:25 to go, 45-7. We'll keep it right here. Say a big thank you again to all of the sponsors here tonight. Wheelan's Automotive, dealership quality at aftermarket pricing. Tompkinson BMW, the home of the ultimate driving machine. Overland Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Grill Funeral Home, a commitment to service is our number one priority. Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center, we are your friends, we're your family, and we're your neighbors. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable high-speed internet provider. Bryan Ford Lincoln, just down the road from high prices, and the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Good luck, Boosters, all Bryan Golden Bears all season long. And next week on the agenda for Friday night, Patrick Henry will be at Archbold. Evergreen will be at Swanton. Delta at Liberty Center, and Bryan travels down the road there to Wauseon, Ohio. Chance to catch up with the old coach here. See how Coop's doing. Colors deep at the goal line. This one's going to go high and be just short of the goal line, about the 4-yard line. Color across the 5 to the 20, 25. A couple of big hits at the 25, but he'll fall to the 26-yard line, maybe even the 27. And the Bears will have the football with 6 minutes to go here in this football game. Golden Bears played hard tonight, Chris. I think had the game at 14-7, and then that big kick return and the interception that ended up in a touchdown. It just seemed to be a little too much for them to be able to overcome tonight. And from that point on, Bears not able to muster any offense, and here we sit 45-7. Bears send doubles to the top, doubles to the bottom. Empty backfield, and Peters will go in motion. Kuba will fire it out to Peters, and he'll get a block. He's at the 30 and across to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. Little flanker screen. And, you know, the one thing that has been a real problem for that thing all year long has been the lack of blocking for him. You throw that little jet screen basically as the guy goes in motion, and then you throw it to him at the top of the field. And by the time we've thrown it to him most of the games, he's standing there with 2 or 3 defenders looking him eyeball to eyeball. That time some good blocks. That one got 7, and the Bears with 5:02 to play, and the opportunity maybe to get something going. Jet sweep to Jones around the home side. He'll have the first down and up to the 40-yard line. It'll be first down Bears at the 39-yard line.
I wonder if that was supposed to be a pass.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. 4:38 and counting. Bears down 38. Kuba comes off, or Kuba, there we go. Nobis comes off the sideline and back into the huddle. You know, one time wasn't Jake Kuba a quarterback, though? Did we not see him a little bit last year playing quarterback?
Played quarterback, yep.
I was thinking there was a Kuba that did. Nobis running for his life, and he's going to be dumped back inside the 30-yard line at the 29-yard line. And it's Lanacek that made the tackle. So Lanacek comes all the way from his linebacker spot, tracks Nobis down to the 30 and drops him. And with the clock rolling, we're down under 4 minutes to play here in the game, 45-7. Well, we're at the midway spot right now. We've got Wauseon and, you know, a couple of ball games still on the horizon that we have to go out and play at their place. And I'm looking forward to the PH game and looking forward to that Liberty game as this ball's thrown a little high. Peters tips it up in the air, and it's almost picked off by Jonathan Shanks. Shanks, who had the big touchdown kickoff return, almost popped in front of that little floater out there, and he had nothing but green grass between him and the goal line at the 25.
Nobis 9 for 12 for 40 yards at 75% passing. He has 1 interception.
And again, you really have to be happy that a guy like Zach Nobis, only a sophomore, gets so much playing time this year. Whether we like it or not, whether you're happy about it or not, this is a year of transition for this team. So guys like Zach Nobis, the more time he can get, the better he's going to be next year. This one's batted down at the line of scrimmage, trying to get Peters on that crossing route right in the center of the football field. If he could have gotten it to him, it probably would have gotten 10 or 12, but it was 3rd down and 20. So That sets up a 4th down and long, and the Bears are going to have to kick this one away. And the one thing that really does make you wonder just a little bit, to see what they'll do back there. Oaks is back there along with Gilsdorf. They're 2 number 1 and number 2 returners. Josh Jones kicks a nice high ball to Oaks, and Oaks will reverse field. He's at the 40, got a block up the sideline. Now cuts it to the middle of the field. Bears going to grab him at the 35 and eventually knock him down at the 32. But Gunnar Oaks returns that football about 35 yards. And it'll be 1st down and 10 Swanton at the 33-yard line. And I would think at this point in time in the night, you'd rather have the big fella standing on the sideline than out returning kicks for you right now. But nice return, and he is one tough dude to bring down on that punt return at 6'3" and about 190 pounds. Minute and 48, that's all that's left. Clock will stop with a timeout. We'll take one, too. Bears down 45-7 here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium is Swanton now bringing a lot of guys off the bench here, and the pickup at 1st down will be for about 3, and get you a new number on that one, Chris. 42. That's 42. 42 is, that's Zach Rankin. So he's now the new Noah Johnson, number 5. So I don't know who 42 is. We'll have to ask the guys over there from Swanton. Pickup was about 3 yards. 2nd down at about 7 with a minute left to go in the ball game. Again, the handoff. And this time about a 6-yard pickup inside the 35 to about, or the 25 into about the 23.
Same guy.
Spencer Winsler in for the Bears making the tackle. So the Bears also getting some new guys out there. And again, nothing but good things for a young team to be able to get guys out and play. You're not happy with the score. You're not happy that you're down 45-7 right now. But the more time these young guys can get out there, the more comfortable they'll feel next year when they get out and they're really starting to play for real. Sweep to the right will get the 1st down to the 20-yard line. But that will probably be the last play of the game with 18 seconds left to go. That's going to run it out. So this one's over here in Bryan tonight. The Bears will fall 45-7 here on BryanSports.com. We'll take a timeout, get you some final stats, wrap it up, and send you to the house right after this.
Well, the Bears go down to defeat tonight, 45-7 here at Golden Bear Stadium. Swanton moves to 5-0 on the season. Bryan moves to 0-5. And just about what we expected tonight, Jim Vanderberg, as we got ready to kick this one off.
Yeah, I think everybody coming in tonight expected something like this. I mean, it was you're in a time. It's really fun to talk to the guys right now from Swanton because they're going through the same thing we get to go through a couple of years ago when you had that group of guys that you've been waiting on and we're coming back and you're hoping for, and they all come together, and the next thing you know, you have 2 really good years of playoff football like we had back in 2012 and 13. And they're hoping for the same thing this year. Obviously, it's been a long time for them to get to this point, to wait for these guys to get to where they are right now, to put it all together, to get the coaching staff that they have in place with Vickers and Spiess on the other side there. And now they're enjoying a real good season. Obviously, they've got some tough games ahead of them. They've got an evergreen team next week that they've got to play. And as you look down the schedule just a little bit, we can look down the schedule now. We don't have anybody around us anymore. And like Coach Klein that used to always like to take it one game at a time, this year's not going to be that situation for us. Swanton plays Patrick Henry on the 9th of October. And then they will have, they'll be at Wauseon on the 16th. And they will be home to Liberty on the 23rd, and they will round out the season on the 30th with Delta coming to their house. So I would say you've got a favorable schedule right there, Chris, when you take a look at Evergreen comes to their place next week, and then they have to go to PH, and then they have to go to Wauseon. So those 2 weeks, the 9th and the 16th, are 2 tough road games for them.
And then they finish everything out, though, with Liberty Center coming to their place and Delta for the final week of the season. For the Golden Bears this year, to finish things out, obviously next week we have to go to Wauseon. The week after that, the Bears will be home with Archbald. The 16th, we will be here with Delta. The 23rd, we will be on the road at Patrick Henry. And then we wrap everything up the last week of the season at Liberty Center. Chris Bryce, how about some final scores down there from you, fella, or things that might be close, because this game might have ended a little quicker than everybody else around the league.
All right, Jim, we got, let's see, it's Wauseon over Archbold 15-7 with 4:05 left in the fourth. Evergreen gets beat by Liberty Center. Oh, wait, no. Liberty Center over Evergreen 40-13, and that's in the fourth.
Wow.
We got a final here. It's Salina over Defiance 42-12. Another final is Napoleon over Northview 7-6. At the end of three, it's Montpelier over Toledo Christian 28-20. And at the end of three, it's also Tenora over Edgerton 47-7. And we see Wayne Trace. I got Wayne Trace over Ayersville, and the last I knew that was 28-20 with Wayne Trace in the lead. That's all I got here, Jim. And Chris, back up to you.
Sounds good. Good job there, young Mr. Bryce. Mr. Malenga, as always, you have that magic touch on that keyboard and that software that I'm sure Bill Gates and Microsoft are going to be looking for here pretty soon.
Bryan had 8 first downs, 5 by the rush, 2 by the pass, 1 by penalty. Swanton also had 8 first downs, 3 by the rush, 5 by the pass. Bryan had was 31 attempts rushing, 47 yards. Swanton 25 rushing attempts for 173. And I did not update the longs, so we'll just let that go. Bryan was 9 of 13 passing for 40 yards and 1 interception. Swanton 7 of 9 for 103, no interceptions. Bryan ran 45 offensive plays and gained 87 total yards. Swanton 35 offensive plays, 276 total yards. Time of possession, Bryan at 15-21, Swanton at 18-25. Bryan was 5 of 8 for third down, which was much better than they normally are.
Yeah, no,
Yep. 2 of 3
Very
for
good.
Swanton. Bryan was 0 of 1 for fourth down, 2 of 2 for Swanton. Bryan was in the red zone once and scored the one time they were down there. Swanton scored all the times they were in the red zone. Bryan was penalized twice for 20 yards. Swanton 6 times for 45 yards. Swanton made 1 field goal and 6 extra points. The drive summaries are where you can tell how things went tonight. So let's look at Bryan's first.
Okay.
Punt,
Oh.
touchdown.
Oh.
Tipped interception.